positive or negative. But you're inspiring somebody to do something because they look up to you, and you may never know it. They may tell you, man, I just look up to you. They watch you at work, they watch you in ministry, and they just like the way you got your swag, what you do, whatever. And they want to emulate that. Now, you may be leading them down the wrong path. But you don't know that your intention is doing it. By default, you motivated people. Motivation is not about rah, rah, I can do it. Motivation means as it gets to the core of why you do what you do. Example, kind of coincides with B. Okay, B, example B. So we're going to dive into the book that as I was studying about Moses, just the genesis of his call, just the beginning of his calling. The beginning of his calling when he got into ministry. Each of us begin to reflect on that time when you know God has called you to do some form of ministry. It doesn't have to be pastoring or you overseeing, but when God called you and you know that especially as pastors, I'm sure, because you have to do this on a consistent basis. You don't get to like, oh, I just oversee this part. You got to be faithful everything. So when God called you to do this, whatever it is, this is in the kingdom, do you remember that time? Do you remember that initial first love, that initial conversation with God? Were you excited? Were you, gung-ho? Did you go or did you hesitate? Do you remember? Who remembers when God called them to be in ministry? For me, some people are already, you just see they're born, they act a certain way, and it's like, they're a leader. They're a leader. Oh, they're a leader. They're a leader. But everyone is a leader in their own right. You don't have to be that choleric. Of course, you all know what we're talking about on the terminology. You don't have to be that choleric, that one that go get it, the one that takes charge. Yeah, they have a certain style of leadership, but that doesn't mean that they are just, those are the type of people that lead. There's a quiet kind that lead. There's a kind that's very methodical that lead. There's a kind that's very, hey, everybody loves them to be around because they are inspirational. The same one, the bubbly personalities that, people, when they say they want to do something, let's go do this, people flock to them. They're leaders. So when you were called to leadership, was it like, yes, Lord? Yes, Lord. Whatever it may be. I want you to be in the choir. I want you to go pastor. I want you to, be ordained. I know when we became ordained, well, I was ordained back in 2005. I mean, I'm good. That comes with responsibility. It's Thursday. I'm cool. I like serving. I'm a leader. Without a title, I do that. So I just shied away from it. I shied away from it for years. Until one day when my friend asked me, his son had spina bifida. And his son was born in October, died in December. So only lived 3 months. But within that 3 months, the way that they handled it, and still to this day, that was in 2002. So here we are, 2019, 17 years later. Had another son born with spina bifida, but thankfully, in the wheelchair, but he's lived, and they've lived a full life. And as a result of that first son died, they built an organization. They built an organization and called Nathan's Playroom. So you can always Google it, go on Facebook and find it and support it. But he called me in 2002 and said, I want you to, now he lives in Indianapolis. I'm not ordained. I've been walking away from it. He said, I want you to officiate my son's funeral. I'm not ordained. I'm not, I didn't say that. You know how sometimes when you get that call and your flesh is like, I don't think you got all kind of excuses, but you don't verbalize it. That's all that turmoil is going on inside of you. I said, okay. So now, all those years of seed that my pastor's been sowing, it's time to do that. I went to him. I was ready. because I felt that I needed to be official. Here, I'm going out of my comfort zone. I gotta go travel to Indianapolis, like that's a long way, it's a 2-hour drive. So, but still, I gotta go travel to Indianapolis and officiate a funeral. I've never officiated anything at that point. And so, especially a funeral, and I'm like, oh man, I got to be legit. I can't just go down there and just bob. But he was fine with that because he's known me all my life. We've known each other since 5th grade. And he says, you know, one thing about you is that you've always been consistent. You never tried to push your religion, as he said, your religion on me or your faith, or anything like that. So we had a respect. And in this serious time of need, he and his wife thought of me, unordained me. Making that call or listening to what the Holy Spirit told you to do, other leaders can ignite things in another leader or push someone towards their destiny, not even knowing it. Just by not going by the norm. Oh, it has to be that. You want to write that down. Leaders, you don't have to be the cookie cutter type of person. It has to be this way. And if they're not officially this, then they can't do this. Or, you know, you have to think out of the box. Leaders have to think out of the box. You cannot stay in the box, because if you stay in the box, you create your own barriers. I mean, to see how sheriff's escort, when they're in a police procession, you like VIP. I mean, it's like they shoot, officers shoot ahead to the next light, they stop all traffic. There's no, you know, funeral car that's like hoping people don't go through or saying, make sure you stay with us. They shoot to each intersection before you even get there, and they shut down all traffic. So all you do is just keep flowing. Wherever you're going, they shoot, they shut it all down. So, and it was funny. When I get there, the priest of that church met with me, and he came to the back with me, and we talked, and you know, whatever. And then I guess he must have said something to my friend Kevin and Becky. And so they know me as Rob, you know. He was like, yeah, I was talking to the minister or whatever, and he was trying to figure out, what was he talking about? Oh, Robert. Okay. They told me that because I was their friend from, you know, back in grade school. But anyway, that catapulted me it pushed me out of my comfort zone. So the story of Moses pushed him out of his comfort zone.
Yes.
Moses was chilling like an ex-villain. Okay? He already killed somebody, which is why he was on the run. He left royalty because the thing inside of him, you all know Dr. Mike Murdoch, he says the thing that bothers you the most becomes a sign of your assignment. Now, why is it that this time when he saw the Hebrew being beaten by the Egyptian soldier bothered him to the point where he intervened and killed him? He grew up since a baby as an Egyptian. So he was royalty from childhood. He's used to seeing this. This is not nothing new. But when God says it's time, things that you used to be complacent with, no, it starts to bother you. I can't, it's starting to bother me. A good steward as a good son. He was good. But there was a promise that God made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob hundreds of years ago. And God is a God of his word. So there's a promise that God has made that you guys are the answer to, that he might have made to Big Mama 3 generations ago. There's a promise that, you know, Grandpa was praying way back before any of us were thought of, or our parents were thought of, that he made, that he's going to keep his word to. It may not be in the time that we see, but when it's time, it's time. And if you rewind the beginning of Exodus, that last chapter in Genesis, when Joseph is dying, they were good, okay, with the Egyptians because of the relationship of what Joseph did and how God used him to, make sure they didn't go into famine and all of that stuff. But, so they lived good. The Israelites were able to live there with them in peace. But once he died, and the new Pharaoh came on scene, this is fast forward years later, he forgot that relationship. And he began to see, they do a lot of love. Because, they're increasing. These babies, they like popping babies like rabbits. What's going on? Yeah, Barry Wright, Luther that they listening to in Hebrew and all that stuff, and they just increasing. And he's like, look, we got to do something. We got to do something, because if they're going to become greater than we are, and then we're going to try to run this, so we got to oppress them. For both of us here on earth, in the life and beyond. Matthew 22, Jesus shares a parable of the wedding feast to give an analogy of the kingdom of God, the charges of the kingdom to partake, from Genesis to Revelation. Unveils the heart of God of his desire to bestow provision, deliverance, and hope to his people. Famous statement in the scripture is, for many are called, but few are chosen. Aaron will be glad to take you.
Yes, he will.
He will just be. But the same. He'll be glad to speak for you, since you don't think I'm qualified to be able to deliver you from what I said that I was going to do. And I'm going to take what I was going to bless you with to deliver you from this little, thorn that you got, this stuttering thing. I was going to deliver you from that. I was just going to use just me and you. Now we have to have a middleman that's going to be in the mix of things, and you want to see later how that's going to backfire. But you wasn't all you want to see me. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because you think you need to have somebody else besides me, God. Okay? Here I am talking to you from a burning bush, not being consumed. Like, when was the last time you've seen that happen? But okay, that's fine. So here's Aaron. He's going to be the voice for you. Now what? God, he just got to the point where he had nothing else. And he just said, God, I don't want to do it. Can you please find somebody else to do it? Have y'all been we've been there?
Yes.
I just, that when you wake up on early Sunday morning, sometimes our pastors have that. Sometimes you have that. When your body, you just tired. When your flesh starts to think, shucks, some of them don't show up when they don't feel like it. I got to always be I got to always, and that's to yourself. You're going back and forth with yourself. But you're getting there. Because you know what you got to do. So you're going to be faithful. But why? Why? What's another story when God called? Not that I won't and don't know. Some of the things I like to do, consulting as far as like business aspect, if you want to publish a book, or consulting to do things in that as far as my business aspect and gifting, I love to do that. What you need, what is it you need to do to help? What you got to do? Okay, let's figure that out. Let's get that done. Publish books and help do that. So, but knowing that type of thing about yourself. Okay? And being able to cultivate that gift that you have is important. Recognizing that and asking God, I love how I heard Dr. Miles Monroe say, everything that we need is already present. We don't have to ask God for something new, brand new. Everything we need is already here. It's already there. Just like Moses trying to come up with different things. What am I going to do? How am I going to whatever? Everything that you need is already there. What did God tell him to do? What was it that he was saying that God told him to use while he was standing there going back and forth? He said, what's that in your
hand?
Same thing you've been using. Now I'm going to put my touch on it. And I'm going to show you a different method as to use what you already have. I'm going to grace it. I'm going to amplify it. That's going to be my go-to. So what is it, if you analyze, and it was still one of your sports stories, what is it that you already have as far as your resources? It's already with you, in you, around you, that will help you propel where you are to where you need to be. What do you need to revisit to say, hey, you know, my wife, she's gonna revamp her website. We already have it, stagnant, been going on for years, but it needs to be, okay, to give a new brand, new image, new look.